What's up, everybody? We are counting down the top collectible sales from August 2023. As usual, we've got our normal categories of sports magazines, comics, and sports cards. And our guest for this month is going to be top heritage items. So not a specific genre, but we're just going to look at the top heritage sales that were sports items that don't fall into any of these other three categories. So let's jump right in. Starting off with our sports magazines, if you want an in-depth look at this, check out my sports magazine Moguls video that's already been posted for the month of August. But we're going to do a quick recap of the top five, starting with number 5, and we have Michael Jordan's very first cover. This is from 1983 Sports Illustrated. It is a CGC 8.5 in his North Carolina Tar Heels uniform alongside teammate Sam Perkins. This one went in a private sale for $13,000. There are 117 newsstand copies of this issue graded, and at the 8.5 level, it's a pop 5 with only 7 copies graded higher. Number 4, the iconic Mickey Mantle first cover from 1956 Sports Illustrated. This is a CGC 9.0. Another private sale here. This one went for $20,000. Only 58 newsstand copies of this issue have been graded. It's a pop 2 at the 9.0 level. There are only 9 copies graded higher. Number 3, the Great Gretzky, 1981. This is his first Sports Illustrated cover. We got a CGC 9.4 copy. This one went on Heritage for $24,000. There have been 83 newsstand copies of this issue graded. There are 4 9.4s. There's only 1 copy graded higher. At number 2, one of the most iconic photos ever on the cover of Sports Illustrated. This is from 1980. It's Miracle on Ice when the USA hockey team defeated the Russians. This is a CGC 9.6, sold on Heritage for $25,200. There have been 81 newsstand copies of this issue graded, and the 9.6 is a pop 1 with only 1 issue graded higher. And coming in as the number 1 highest selling sports magazine from last month, check that. Of all time, we have this 1984 Sports Illustrated Michael Jordan cover. This is his first pro cover. We saw his very first cover earlier from 1983 while still in college at North Carolina. But this is his first pro cover in the NBA with the Chicago Bulls, and it's a CGC 9.8. This guy went for $126,000 on Heritage, setting a new all-time record for highest sports magazine sale, possibly highest magazine sale period that I know of. And this has been graded a total of 77 times in newsstand. It is a pop 3 at the 9.8 level, and there are none graded higher. Next up, we're rolling into comics. Let's see how our friends on the comic side of the world did this past month. We're going to start with number 5. We've got 1966. This is Batman number 181. It's the very first appearance of Poison Ivy. And look at that, CGC 9.8. This thing went for $96,000 on Heritage. There have been 3,591 copies of this graded. 3,163 of those are the Universal Blue Label. And at the 9.8, it is one of only 4 copies with none graded higher. Number 4, iconic, one of the most desirable issues out there. This is from 1939. It is Superman number 1. It's a CGC 1.0. And despite that, it went for $110,000 on Comic Connect. That just shows you how rare and how desirable this specific comic is. It's only been graded 176 times. Super, super low in terms of the comic pop counts. Only 73 of those are Universal Blue Label, such as this one. And at the 1.0 level, it is a pop 14. There are 142 copies graded higher. Number 3, this is from 1963, and this is X-Men number 1. Now we got a little change up here. This is not CGC. We've got CBCS, and it's graded a 9.0. I believe this is the first time that a CBCS slab has ever appeared on one of my countdown videos. And so this copy went for $125,000 on Comic Connect. Now, I mostly looked at the CGC pop reports here just because there's a lot more data. There have been 6,090 total copies of this X-Men number 1 graded in the CGC census. I did check out CBCS and saw that there's an additional 380 there. Of those graded in the CGC census, 4,487 are Universal Blue Label, and there are 50 9.0s in the CGC census, and there are 49 copies graded higher. Coming in at number 2, we just saw this issue at number 4. Again, it's 1939 Superman number 1. The last one we saw was a CGC 1.0 that went for, let's see, what was it? 110,000. This is a 1.5, so just a tiny notch above, and went for 132,250. So over $22,000 additional for just that bump from a CGC 1.0 to a 1.5. This was on Comic Connect. Once again, only 176 copies of this graded, 73 of which are universal. This is a Pop 14 at the 1.5 level with 128 copies graded higher. And the number 1 highest selling comic from last month, we've got 1984 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1, and it's a CGC 9.8. It's sold on Comic Connect for $155,250. There have been 1,207 total copies of this graded by CGC. Exactly 1,000 of them are universal blue labels, and at the 9.8 level, it is one of only 35 with none graded higher. All right, next up, let's take a look at a little bit of variety here. This is top heritage items. Once again, this is any sports-related item that sold last month on heritage auctions that did not fall into one of our other categories. So we're going to start off with number 5. We've got a 1947 Jackie Robinson MLB debut game ticket graded by PSA at a 3, and it sold for $300,000 on heritage. Number 4, game-worn jersey by Magic Johnson during the 1989-1990 season. This one went for $312,000 on heritage. At number 3, we got another game-worn jersey, but this time it is from the GOAT Tom Brady. This is from 2011, October 9th, 2011 to be exact, versus the New York Jets. And this jersey went for $360,000 on heritage. Number 2, might as well have called this category game-worn jerseys minus that Jackie Robinson ticket, but this is a 1998 Michael Jordan jersey. This is from his playoff run during that the last dance, his last season with the Bulls in 1998, and this jersey went for $645,000 on heritage. And coming in at number 1 in this category, absolutely monster sale. Mickey Mantle just dominates collectibles. Look at this, a game-worn Mickey Mantle jersey from 1958, and this one went for $4.68 million on heritage. All right, last but not least, we've got our beloved sports cards, and we're going to start with number 5, and there he is again. There goes that man, Mickey Mantle, 1952 iconic Topps card. This one's graded at a PSA 7. And this one went for $432,000 on heritage. So there have been just a little bit over 1,500 copies of this card graded by PSA. It is a Pop 77 at the PSA 7 level, and there are 66 copies graded higher. Number 4, another legendary Yankee, although here he's playing with the Boston Red Sox. This is Babe Ruth. This is from 1916, an M1014 Sporting News card. Maybe it was rookie card. I don't know for sure the answer to that question. Someone leave the comments and let me know. But obviously going way back into Babe Ruth's pitching days, you can see him there listed as a pitcher and in the pitching motion as well. This one went for $528,000 at the PSA 3.5 level. There have only been 18 copies of this card graded, and at the 3.5 level, it's a Pop 2 with 12 graded higher. Number 3, we're going back to Jackie Robinson. This is from 1948 Leaf. This is graded at a PSA Authentic. And look at this, includes an auto from Jackie Robinson, graded 8 for the auto. This one went for $588,000 on heritage. There have been a total of 1,420 copies of this card graded. I can only find a population of 2 at this level that have been autographed, with only 2 higher. Coming in at number 2, again, we've got Babe Ruth. This one's from 1933 Gowdy, playing with the Yankees in this one. And this is a PSA 8.5 absolute scorcher for that year. And look at this, sold for over $1 million. $1,065,000 on heritage. There have been a total of 1,262 copies of this graded as a Pop 1 with only 4 copies graded higher. And number 1, we're going back to the iconic 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. He just dominates this list, and it's an SGC 9. Look at him going over $4 million again. We saw it with the jersey, and now with this SGC 9 1952 Topps card, $4.5 million on heritage. Now with SGC, this has been graded 640 times. Only 2 SGC 9s with only 1 copy graded higher. Of course, that's the one that sold for $12.6 million last year. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. And until the next video, we'll see you next time.